Hello viewers, welcome to CodeForAny Fruit Markets Notes. Inside, we need to make this here the most important API we need to develop here. We need to assume as a delivery boy, need to place here the order address need to come here, but user are not available. So otherwise, need to making any reasons need to not pick this here the delivery. That's why need to making here the needs here the delivery boy cancel orders. Need to API need to needs here. Otherwise, need to making here the another concept like here the Amazon's other delivery possible. So need to make here the attempts here the second attempts and third attempts then after the cancel orders. But we need to simple scenario, if you hear the user are not picked, then to cancel this here the order delivery. Like this you need to making here the status managing and to updating this here the details. Now need to make here the API to write down here the calls here the app.post like here, and then after you need to making this here the API slash need to write down here the app and need to make this delivery boys need to write down here the delivery boy need to set here the orders and to set here the delivery cancel and make here the API request response. Need to manage it here the whole things. Need to write down here the write down here helper.dlogs request.body need to print here where request object is equal to need to write down here the request.body like here. Now we need to write down here the check access tokens. We need to set here the request dot headers and we need to set this here the response and we need to set this here the callbacks of this user object and we need to put this here and we need to set this here the all status are the managing for specific this users into delivery voice need to managing this here the user to status only access this API for the cancel this orders. Now we need to first of all the making here the this which items are the cancels. First of all we need to need this here the order ID items orders ID need to need here the parameters request the objects and we need to put this here the not check valid parameter valids need to set here the response object and after need to give this here the request object and we need to put this here the sessions need to check here the key need to require key items item order underscore id. Then after we need to managing this here the latitudes longitudes also most important for this part. Otherwise you need to delivery boy directly cancel these orders. That's all need to setting here the latitudes and longitudes let and long managing these years and you need to set here the results. Reason is most important, so why this cancel these orders need to managing this here the easy to manage these tables. Now this is are the importance for here the errors and results need to put here not results. So need to if here the valid like here's remove one brackets and set this here's. Now need to write down here the db query and we need to call this here the update status need to call here the delivery boy cancel status need to managing this here structures like here show and cancels order are rejects need to update this here change we need to set here the order status 6 we need to use here to that's why I need to left here need to letters use need to managing this here delivery boy cancel like here and save here like this adding here the 6 status we need to put here for the cancel orders. Now we need to managing this here the item tables inside need to set here so need to setting here the update query need to write down here the update give this here the order item detail underscore item and detail as set status we need to set here the status column I set here the question mark and need to set this here the reason question mark. Why this reason? Why I need to cancel like this regions? Need to put here and also need to managing this here the status as status inside you need to managing here the latitudes and longitudes need to import here need to add two columns after the here order status go need to set same as need to delivery boy need to use this here the locations here latitudes and longitudes providing this here the varchar 30 and set here varchars by default need to set here 0.0 and save here and like this you need to adding here so need to fix this here the API inside this column and longitudes like here's and we need to managing here also this column latitudes and longitudes like here's and created dates also need to no with to wrong place students is equal to now where and we need to set this here the item order id like here's so here the errors and comma result like here's now if gets any errors for calling here the API to call this here the helper throw HTML errors need to set here the errors and response and return these functions now if here's found here the updated these results need to affected row are more than one more than zero means here the successfully updated these records and if found any errors need to not status are updated to write down here the status need to set here 0 and need to write down here the message need to set here the MSC file like we need to managing this here after we need to required parameters we need to put here the given this here the status is equal to need to set here the 6 then after we need to pass this here the request object dot reasons and then after we need to give this here request order id like we need to put in here and save this here and orders are the cancellings means here the also update this here the order detail status tables need to update also need to creating here the one insert query need to write down here db dot query like here and we need to call this here the insert into and we need to call this here the table names order status detail and need to give this here the column name so need to set here the item order id then after order status and created date created date like so need to need years created date and order status and also need to need this here the status is latitudes and longitudes also need to submit here for the verification so why this is actual location so not so need to like identify for the admin so need to using this years and more equals values values like here's maybe need to find out here's insert query maybe typo here's need to fix this here values values You need to set here the question mark, set here the value. No. Like, so need to put shares all things, and I need to set here the one by one. So all informations need to put here. First point, we need to give this here the order, item order ID. Then after the order status, we need to set here the six years, and then after we need to give this here the latitudes and longitudes. Also need to past years, latitudes, and request dot object dot longitudes, like years. And created dates already given this years inside the directives value. Now need to errors and result, like this. If you found any errors, then you need to throw these errors, and we need to found any result, means here successfully inserted this records. Else parts need to call here the fell, and if here success, that here the ones need to order delivery order cancel that, like here. So need to put here, and also need to modify here the delivers. So need to making this here the latitudes and longitudes, because now need to add this here the columns delivers inside. Need to put here the latitudes and longitudes. Most important, let's need to set here the columns. Also here need to managing this here status, and set here the question mark, space yours. Then after we need to put here the request object. We need to use directly this here the value, copy, and we need to paste this here, like here. And we need to fix this here the this API. If you like this video, please give the thumbs up. If you're new user, so please subscribe my channels and press the notification bell icon. You can get every new video notifications and awesome content. If you have any question, so please write down the comment sections. I will help you and sort out your issue. Everyone have a nice day. Goodbye and take care.